What's up, everyone? This is Joker, and I'm bringing you another audio commentary from Korean solo queue. This game I've chosen, we're going to be focusing on Orianna, and Ori is being played by CJ Entus Blaze, Ganked By Mom. You can't actually see his name because the spectator client doesn't like to play nice with the Korean characters, but I assure you it is Ganked By Mom. And he's going against Fizz, and the Fizz player is I am Annie King. I don't think this is a pro. It might be some sort of fringe pro or something on a team I'm not aware of, but his solo queue stats have him as kind of just the Annie main who dabbles in other champions. So I would say Ganked By Mom has the advantage going into this in terms of experience and talent, but we'll see. Just before I start, go over the items real quick. They both went Doran's Ring, fairly standard, although I don't think Fizz can get away with Doran's Ring in this matchup. Orianna is a bitch of an early laner, and most Fizzes you'll see go Flask in this situation against any laner that can safely harass them and not instantly die. And by going Doran's Ring, Fizz kind of shows his hand that he's just trying to win a very early all-in, either kill her or send her to such low HP that she can't safely harass him anymore because of the threat of him killing her the next round. Last thing, just as for the matchup in general, found this one interesting because these are both very popular mids right now. Fizz is considered probably one of the strongest mids in this current assassin meta. I would say Zed and Fizz are kind of and Ari, probably the top three. And then Caston kind of in there in the next tier just because he's easy. Well, on paper he's easier to counter. We've seen that's not always the case, but he also takes a little bit longer to get ramped up. So I'd say Fizz, Ari, Zed, top three, and you've been seeing a lot of Fizz at Worlds lately, and I'm sure you see a lot of Fizz in solo queue. And on the other half, you have Orianna, who is the one control mage that is still seeing play in the pros. By far the most popular non-assassin mid right now. And the reason for that is she's a very safe laner. She counters assassins well. She has great clear, great push, but moreover, she has a shield that can protect her early and protect her against all-ins. Gives her extra effective HP, both in terms of the shield itself, and she gains bonus defensive stats. And she also has a lot of CC and disengage. Her ult is a great tool to stop any all-in attempt, especially if she's under turret. Then she can flip it right into a kill. And not only that, but if she does turn away an all-in attempt, she's able to chase down very well. And overall, she's just a very strong champion. She brings a lot of team utility while still offering a ton of damage late game. And she's mobile with her W, gives the team mobility, gives the other team slows. Solid champion overall. And this is a matchup that is most likely something, I'm sure it's already been played at Worlds, not positive, but if not, I'm sure it will. These are two of the top 4 champions I'd say so far being played at Worlds, so I'm sure it'll be in there somewhere. Just one, since we're focusing on Ori, I'm not going to go over too many more of Fizz's smaller decisions, but you'll see Ori has 34 AP, 52 MR. That MR number is a little bit skewed because she did start with her shield, which gives her 10 bonus MR while the ball's on her. So 42 MR is standard. Looks like she's just running a standard AP room page, standard masteries, nothing crazy. And Doran's Ring, 2 potions. This is safe against Fizz. 2 potions is enough sustain. She should be able to wear them out by then. And the extra health actually keeps her safer than she would if she went with like a Flask or some sort of super sustain. That would just give her lower health. He's not looking to win an all-out sustain war. He's looking to kill her in his first or second attempt. And without further ado, get the game started. See, if Ori starts E level 1, All she's really looking to do is just put that shield on and trade with her boosted auto attacks. And you see right here, Fizz is losing this trade hard. One thing I would recommend is don't start E on Fizz. You can dodge one skill with it, but it's not going to do much. I think most pros would recommend W or Q depending on the matchup. I'm not a Fizz expert, but I do know that E is almost always the wrong choice. The W makes it so they cannot stand and trade autos with you at all, especially when your W itself is popped, and the Q gives you mobility and a gap closer. And in general, if you get WQ by level 2, you have a great damage tool. You can get onto them, and most people will have to back off or they'll die. But anyways, see Jarvan ganking, but Aatrox is onto him, and that will be the end of Fizz. So that's a double kill, and that's going to be very nice for Orianna and for Aatrox. Right there, that was mainly a mistake by Jarvan. He was trying to force a play. Fizz was behind and needed the help. And really they just ganked hoping that Aatrox wouldn't be around, because Orianna was completely safe. She would have got away. Didn't even burn her flash. They had no chance of killing her. And you see there, Fizz was using E to gap close, and that's his escape. So once he was in up that far, especially without the flash he burned at level 1, he was 100% dead. And Jarvan just happened to die because it went so badly for Fizz. So anyways, Orianna was able to pick up a Chalice, and that's going to be very nice for her. That brings her MR up to 77 at level 4. So Fizz is going to have a hell of a time. Also gives her mana regen before she had her blue buff a few minutes before. She got a ward as well. Actually got another ward. I don't think she placed her first one, so that's why she had 2, but also a few potions. Fizz wasn't able to get any items since he started Dorans and didn't really get a whole lot of CS. He's still at 9 even after being back at lane. So he just had to stack potions, and he's behind, he knows it. Not only in levels, but in items by a lot. He's also down in summoners. Knowing Fizz players and just kind of how the champion works in general, he's still going to be aggressive. Fizz doesn't gain much by staying passive. There you go. Aatrox was there, but Fizz should be away. Maybe not. Get the slow. Jarvan there to shut that down, but I think Jarvan's going to die for it. So yes, there you go. Fizz got a little too far out without flash. And got his jungler killed again. So while he lives, gets to stay in lane, doesn't fall too far behind in XP. He's not really going to be able to farm until this wave's all the way pushed to his turret, and even then it's going to be dangerous. But moreover, his jungler is way behind now. Dying twice in the jungle that early is really harmful. And there you go. This is what good junglers will do. This is top Korean solo queue. They know how to play this game. And Aatrox just comes back and kills Fizz one last time. Orianna is now level 6 while Fizz is 4. So what she's going to do here is, you never want to back when there's a cannon wave on the other side like that and you're pushing. By the time you get back to lane, that cannon wave will be dead and you'll lose a ton of XP. And pushing a cannon wave into turret generally doesn't deny the enemy, depending on when you do it, because the tower focuses the cannon first. So it might kill the cannon itself, but not very many of the actual smaller minions will die. Generally, that's not the wave you want to push into a turret and back. Usually it's the one after. So anyways, here Fizz was able to get another Dorn's Ring, and Ori hasn't bought yet. But she does have a 2-level advantage, and Aatrox, as you can see, is bullying Jarvan out of his jungle. She doesn't have a whole lot to worry about here. And Aatrox returns, he gives up his passive, gets Fizz's Ignite. Not a good trade, but at this point, they're just trying to keep Fizz down as much as possible. So if Fizz hits 6, let's see, what's his experience at? So he's more than halfway to 6. He could kill Ori right now for sure. He could even potentially kill her before 6, although I don't think so. Her ult is down, but she has flash. And she does have that. How much MR? 67 plus the ball would add 10 more. Instead, he's going to enjoy this. Well, he messed up there and missed his cannon minion. I think this Fizz is a little bit outclassed in this matchup, but regardless, he got to enjoy that wave in peace, which is probably nice for him, as you can see, he only has 20 CS at the 8-minute mark. Ori has 53. Got Sork Boots and an Amp Tome, Lord's Potions, the whole deal. He's got a ton of mobility now, though Fizz can still gap close pretty well. She can kite for days once his gap closes are down, especially in conjunction with her W and her ult. So that's one thing Ori is also very good at, is just shoving waves really fast and easily. Can do so and still pick up all the minions pretty trivially with QW and even E. And she's also very good at harassing under turret. Well, there you go. Oh, she took 2 tower shots there, and she might die here. Oh, the flash, the ignite. Nope, she lives.
Blue team double kill.
Fizz played that like a gigantic pussy. We have to watch that again.
Blue team double kill.
Not only did he have Shen, but she completely, I mean, she misplayed that. Not really. I guess he's at half. But he gets her with her ult, and she makes the mistake of autoing him there, and that cost her 2 tower shots. But Fizz pushed out, he hesitated for like a second. And because of that, he once again baited one of his teammates.
Blue team double kill.
And I don't mean he hesitated before the Shen ult, like he should have expected someone in solo queue to ult him at the right time. Although in Korea you probably would expect that. But he hesitated once the Shen ult was already apparent. And that was just a big mistake. They easily could have killed Orianna and probably got away for free. Instead, they get 2-0'd. And this game is snowballing pretty hard. Primarily due to Fizz's failures. You see, Corki's doing fine in bot lane. Shen's doing fine in top until that. But Jarvan is very far behind because of the Fizz stuff early. And Fizz himself has 28 CS at 10 minutes. And now he gets to farm 1 Wraith. He gets to clean up Aatrox's leftovers. And he still has 2 Doran's rings, with not even any potions this time. You see, Ori picked up a Ruby Crystal, so she's not rushing that Athene. She's actually going into Haunting Guy second. And this is kind of even more defensive build that if you start with Chalice. The Athenes gives you a little bit more MR. But the flat health you get with the Haunting Guys is actually a little bit more effective. And it gives you that nice pen as well. Damage-wise, it does a bit more. You don't get the CDR and you don't get nearly as much mana regen, but that's a trade-off I think she's okay with. Now Ori is staying with very low health. But I don't think Blitz can do much. They have a 4.5k gold lead. Since Blitz got pulled mid, blue team's bottom lane is going to get a free turret, stretch the gold lead even farther.
Purple team's turret has been destroyed.
See, if you look at gold just in the mids, Orianna has 4,500, Fizz has under 2,000, so she already has over double his gold. And he got an Amp Tome, so good for him. He's up to 32 CS at the 11-minute 30-second mark. Looks like they might get a kill here. a couple kills. Well, Gragas was tunneling on the turret and stood on a Fizz ult that he didn't even need to take, but I think he would have probably died either way. And Jarvan killed the low HP Aatrox, so didn't have a whole lot to do. The good news for the blue team is both those guys are worth gold again. I guess Jarvan still was, but Fizz was definitely lower in value. So there goes mid turret, but Fizz is here to clean it up potentially. No, he's out of mana actually. And Ezreal's here with the reinforcements. Let's see if no. Nice disengage by Ori and Janna. They're gonna get out of there before feeding any needless kills. Ori's still fighting over a small race. Not exactly the smartest thing to do when you have 200 HP, but she'll be fine. Gold-wise, let's look at the junglers. 2,900 for Jarvan and 4,400 for Aatrox. So not quite double like mid, but still pretty damn significant. And I can't really fault Jarvan for that. It's a little bit his fault, but the whole thing started with Fizz getting stomped as early as level 1. He hardcore misplayed level 1. Not only did he actually misplay, but he also took the wrong skill in the first place. He was destined for failure. Then just jungler got counter ganked, they both died. And he ended up getting him killed again a couple minutes later. This is one of the reasons mid lane snowballs so hard, is because it has a lot of impact on the junglers, especially in solo queue when they're more likely to be sitting around the mid area, farming up the small camps, buffs, etc. Pro play, they can be anywhere and are a lot smarter. But in solo queue, those junglers are bound to be mid more often than any other lane, unless they're specifically focusing on one of the other lanes. But what that does, if your mid is just stomping the other mid, it allows you to go into the jungle knowing that you guys will win the 2v2 if one happens. So you see Ori going aggressive here on Shen. He flashes the ult nicely. And she wisely doesn't chase. There's a ton of farm here. It's almost a kill's worth of gold right there. And she wouldn't have caught him. But she does burn his flash without using hers. Almost always a good trade. And you see she finished out hunting guys, and now she got the codex, so she will be getting that Athene's next. A little bit different build, but I have seen that
Purple team's turret has been destroyed
against AP based assassins before, mainly against Fizz, but also Ahri. You get that chalice for that early MR plus the mana regen it gives you, and then you build the haunting guys next, mainly because it allows you to build that ruby crystal, and that flat health gets you a lot tankier. So a little skirmish there. Aatrox died. Aatroxes are so used to playing completely reckless that I think they forget to tone it down when their passive's not actually up. And now let's see if Fizz gets soloed by Janna. I don't think so, but it's possible. Oh, she should be autoing him. She could actually kill him, I think. That wasn't the way to do it. You're not going to get away from a Fizz. Doesn't make a huge difference. It's an 8k gold lead at 15 minutes. Blue would have to throw pretty hard to lose this one. Gragas and Shen are even farm, but Gragas has the kills and an assist. Ezreal and Corki are... Ezreal's actually a little bit behind Corki, so that's one thing the purple team has going for them. And Corki's also completely broken right now, so they have that as well. But then they have a 35 farm Fizz at 16 minutes, so... if Fizz can manage to chunk Ezreal or Ori really hard, or kill one of them while dying, that's actually completely fine for his team. That would be worth it. And that could happen if Shen gets a taunt on one of them. But other than that, they're gonna get stomped. Well, there's the Ori. She should be dead. But the reinforcements arrive, and it turns out to be a 2-for-1.
Purple team's turret has been destroyed.
With a mid turret as the price. So Shen wants to start the split push game, but actually he doesn't really want to. He's building a Trinity Force. He has no defensive item other than his initial Dorn Shield. Gragas actually went double GP10. I haven't seen this for a long time, since like season 2. They don't really pay off anymore. I mean, they're okay, but it's generally not considered to be even slightly worth it unless you're actually playing support, and even then, they're not considered amazing. So one thing they have going is Blitz is hitting some hooks. Cage's pick I can get on board with because he could end up building that into a Morello's, but Philistone on laners I absolutely hate. Solo laners. Oh, nice flash pull, but she flashes it. All that to say that Blue has a 10k gold lead at 18 minutes. Fizz has 42 farm at 18 minutes. Did manage to get 3 kills and 4 assists, but I don't think that's going to make the difference. And as you see, he's down over 3,000 gold. They did get a kill on Janna there. Aatrox is coming in. And Ori and Aatrox has some nice synergy. Not only does he kind of have a mini Malphite ult, definitely mini, but similar. But he also is just one of those champions that just wants to go crazy and dive the back line, and having that Ori ball in him gives him extra tank stats, gives him extra speed to close the gap, and also sets up a nice Ori ult. You saw there, Fizz failed to get over the wall. He is definitely overmatched in this matchup. Maybe he's not a mid player, maybe he is, but he got worked pretty hard. She has close to quadruple his CS. I haven't seen that very often. I'm almost rooting for it. What would she need? 172. 7 more. Don't think it'll happen, but that'd be pretty funny if it did. This game is pretty much a formality at this point, but we'll see if there's any flashy plays to close it out. Fizz stood in base for a long time there, but I'm not sure why. He did finish his Lich Bane, so he has the first half of his core 2 items done, the second one being Zhonya's Hourglass. But he's a long ways away from that. That would pretty much require him to farm close to as much gold as he's farmed the entire game. Not quite, it's an exaggeration, but you get the point. Ori, meanwhile, finished her Athene's, got a Giant's Belt, so she's really going for the safe tanky-ish Ori. And in general against the Fizz, I agree with that choice, but I don't think she needs to do that in this game. She's not really threatened by him as is.
Purple team's turret has been destroyed.
Just because of how far she's ahead, not to mention their team is so far ahead. But because their team's so far ahead, it doesn't really matter for what she builds. She could build AD at this point and they'd still win. This Gragas is pretty massive. Ezreal's pretty massive. Aatrox is pretty massive. And the tanky Ori is still a pain in the ass, just in a different way than a damage Ori. And there's the surrender. Koreans generally surrender once things are once things are pretty much a sure thing. Even in the pros, they do. Kind of stems from StarCraft days, when you type out GG when things are almost a guaranteed loss. Kind of like that. It speeds things up. But some of the fun in solo queue is the big comebacks. Although this game was definitely beyond hope, other than like a double AFK or something. 15k gold at 21 minutes is pretty ridiculous. Anyways, we saw how not to play Fizz in that game. Ori played fine. Nothing spectacular though. We just saw Fizz fail, bring his jungler down with him, and they together brought the whole team down with them. Anyways, hope you enjoyed. Check out my other commentaries. Gonna be trying to come out with one a day coming up here. Definitely after Worlds is over, it'll be at least one a day. Be throwing in some highlight videos during Worlds, but still try to keep it at one a day. And like and subscribe if you enjoy it. Thanks.